Bruh. Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head.
Hey guys, it's BB202, and today we're going to be talking about LEGO's declining quality standards. So that particular disaster is what inspired this video, as we look at a clone trooper who was inspired by Peyton Manning, but it's not an outlier by any means. LEGO appears to be getting worse when it comes to piece quality, minifigure quality, and misprinting pretty much everything that can be misprinted, but we're not really sure why that is. However, I've got several suspects that I'm going to call to the stand to testify. Court is in session. LEGO originally only produced its bricks in Denmark, but has since outsourced much of its production. It currently has factories in Mexico, China, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Austria, Poland, and Germany. Not only that, but the company has been significantly expanding its footprint in those countries to mitigate the existing factories being overwhelmed. Unfortunately, LEGO's rapid expansion seems to have come at the cost of their quality, and many fans and consumers have noticed a decline in consistency in their products. I have several examples of these quality issues in my own collection, so let's take a look at a few. This is the Santa's Workshop set. It was released in 2014, so right now it's about 5 years old. And we're going to be talking about the piece that was right here. I have right here, just a tiny little piece, right? But we're going to take the flashlight, and as you can see, right on the top, there is a very long crack that goes right down the middle of the piece. It's kind of shining through right now. And that is formed from just being on that set for a few years. I haven't touched it otherwise, and that happened on its own. So to me, that shows that whatever they're using just isn't a high quality part, because that really should not be happening with those pieces. So right here we got a Jet Trooper from the Sith Trooper Battle Pack. There's nothing wrong with the set itself. I like the minifigures and I like the build. The issue's with the helmet on this Jet Trooper. Let's just do a quick test right here. Look how easily that comes off. It's hard to show on video like that, but if I turned around and I shook him, his helmet would come off. And I've got 4 of this minifigure because I have 2 of the Battle Pack, so it's not an isolated issue. That's because the helmet is too loose for the figure. LEGO's quality control is not good enough. They need to have a test to show that the helmet is too loose so that they could have rectified that before they rolled it out into stores. But they didn't do it. And it turned into a figure that, he's in battle, his helmet comes flying off, he's the first guy that gets shot. Despite all that, the LEGO quality control issue that really rubs me the wrong way the most are the cracks under the minifigure arms. That is the bane of my existence, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. Unfortunately, this seems to be getting worse all the time. So let's do a minifigure comparison between 2 figures that were made before and after LEGO started resorting to cheaper plastics. On the left, we've got a knight from 2010, and on the right, we've got a knight from 1990. Both of them I played with probably about the same amount, and yet there's a big difference between these two. So let's check out the knight on the left. Let's look under his arms. You see that? Very significant cracks, even cracks on the hands. And his arms can barely even stay up as a result. That's not good. That actually hinders directly the quality of the product. Meanwhile, this guy, who is 26 years older, nothing. Nothing. Not even on the hands. Almost looks brand new. So, comparing these two, it's clear that what LEGO used to be doing lasted a lot longer, and for some reason they've strayed away from that. Now, whether this is due to some sort of, financial benefit or something, I'm not really sure, but I do know that they're actively hurting the quality of their own product, and there's absolutely a way to make it better. One thing that the Chinese factories in particular are known for are their print quality control issues. Now, we don't know exactly what parts come from where because LEGO's pretty secretive about that, but we do know that prints mostly come from Chinese factories. They've got printing issues with minifigure heads, torsos, and even accessories such as shields, and they're quite noticeable. The Lion Knights from the Kingdoms line were also known as the Pink Knights or the Cotton Candy Knights. That's not because they were a sequel to the Jelly Bean Knights from Knights Kingdom 2, which were intentionally designed to look that awful, believe it or not. It's actually because of a quality control issue with their torsos that caused the red pattern to bleed into the white, and it came out as kind of a pinkish color where the white should have been. Here's a photo of this from one of the sets in my collection. The Lion Knight on the left is from a Kingdoms Battle Pack, which was produced in China, while the one on the right was produced in God knows where, but it doesn't have that issue. Another issue with this battle pack, despite the fact that it had 5 minifigures for $15, which today would be a great deal, was that there were a lot of complaints of the minifigures in the pack feeling very cheap. This is common across a lot of the blister packs or foil packs that LEGO releases to this day, and it's also a similar complaint heard about the collectible minifigure series. The common thing between all of these sets is that they were all produced in China, and for some reason, it appears that there is a lot of cheaper plastic coming out of the Chinese factories. I don't know why that is, or why China's using that, and it doesn't appear to be coming from other factories, but it's a concern of mine. This is another problem. Here's a Dragon Knight shield. On the left, you can see is how it should look. On the right is the version that came out of the Chinese factory. This is for a LEGO Kingdoms Battle Pack that was produced in China. As you can tell, that one's a lot brighter. This particular piece I don't have an issue with by itself, except for when you have an entire army of these guys and you're trying to army build them. You know, that's what a battle pack is for. It looks bad because the shield colors are off from the different knights that came in different sets from different countries. It creates kind of this bad dynamic. And finally, keeping with the Kingdoms theme, here's an example of a head from one of the queens from the chess set. As you can see, both sides of the double-sided face are almost on the same side of the brick. Well, not really side because it's a cylinder, but you get my point. But anyway, it's hard to cover up with a hairpiece that second face, depending on which one you're using, because part of her second face is kind of popping out from behind the hair. She kind of looks like Voldemort coming out of the back of Coral's head, which is a little bit unsettling. Maybe that's going to help her team win the chess match. But it's a little bit creepy. It's definitely not usable, and it's definitely a waste of a brick. So, you get my point. There is a legitimate argument to be made that sometimes misprints do appeal to collectors. Misprints have their own category on Bricklink with hundreds of search results, so clearly there is some sort of market for that. But I don't feel like that appeals to the majority of the population. Imagine you're a kid on Christmas morning, you're opening up this big LEGO set that you asked for. You open it up and you find out that your favorite character's face is mangled, or the print on their torso is off, and you just feel bad. It's almost like the set that you asked for wasn't worth it anymore because the character you wanted the most was messed up. So while misprints are good for a certain section of the population, part of their appeal is due to the fact that they're so rare. And now that these appear to be becoming more frequent in LEGO sets, they're losing their appeal. They never had any appeal with the general public, but they're also losing their appeal with collectors because their misprints are becoming less valuable as they become more common. LEGO's quality control issues have had a past and a present, but unfortunately they have a future as well. Something they hadn't even considered until recently is LEGO's initiative to make more biodegradable plastic starting this decade. They want to make pieces using plant parts instead of their traditional plastic ABS pellets. Now, a lot of people are worried about this because they're not sure how long these new plastics are going to be able to hold up. A user I respect a lot on Eurobricks called LEGO Historian said, "What I think will hurt LEGO bricks is LEGO's idea of making bricks biodegradable, which might just start happening before they eventually hit the landfill." That's a legit concern. They could start breaking down while you're still using the pieces. LEGO has to do some pretty exhaustive testing to make sure that these bricks can hold up over time, because while I'm all for the eco-friendly approach they're trying to take, they need to find a balance between retaining the quality of their product and protecting the environment. Not too long ago, fans such as myself used to make fun of LEGO's competitors like Mega Bloks or Creo because their quality was just laughably bad in comparison to LEGO. It was nowhere close, and we thought that LEGO would continue to be the top dog indefinitely in that department, something that off-brands could never compete with. But it appears that that's changed. LEGO's diluted standards impact the lifespan of their products in a way that I previously thought to be inconceivable. Likewise, their lax attitude towards quality control issues damaged their reputation, and would-be consumers may be better off turning towards more budget-friendly options that now rival them in quality. In 1936, the founder of the LEGO Group, Ole Kirk Christensen, coined the company's slogan, which was "Only the best is good enough." Nowadays, the slogan might as well be, "If it's still selling, it's good enough." Maybe the company should scrutinize what their factories are putting out more closely. Maybe they should shut a few down that aren't reaching the standards they claim they still have. Maybe their resources are spread too thin and individual sets shouldn't have parts coming from 8 different countries. That's all up for LEGO to decide, but the unmistakable decline in their brick quality is hard not to notice, and they should do something about it. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider donating to my Patreon. Follow me on Instagram. I've got 100 followers there now. Super excited about that. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube. Leave a comment if you liked the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.